the impression that we're getting is that when we get into segmentation and identifying verticals, it could get very fragmented. When you go into agricultural and you go to very specific sectors where they want a very accurate water forecast, etc., you cannot get lost in all this fragmentation and within the verticals and the segments. So tailoring and at some point it gets into areas of where there are a lot of price pressures with these mom and pop kind of businesses. So yes, it's for what we've learned, it gets very interesting when you get into this to analyzing in depth verticals and segments and subsegments and how you can tailor the product to try to get that deep. If you want to get that deep, you should still have business going that deep.
Yep. So you have to be very specific. That's why you guys are doing this. You have to be very confident that you've picked the ones that you think you can make the most impact.
Yep.
Instead of trying to be all things to all people, that's usually a more successful. WSI was very judicious on where they would sell, who they would sell to, because you didn't want to. If you gave it away in one vertical, the other folks would find out about it sooner or later, and you'd have price pressure that you created yourself, pushing down on your pricing in other areas.
Makes sense. I know that we're approaching to complete the hour. On my part, I just have one more question. Maybe Eduardo have another one. But well,
I was at least 6 minutes late, so go ahead.
I've been looking through the next round information online and the coverage map that I'm seeing here. For a company like WSI, obviously there's a lot of coverage in the U.S. But how about? I was under the impression that one of the challenges is to be a more global. Let me know if I'm correct. Is to more global, being able to offer a global forecast. There's other companies out there like StormGeo, etc. That's part of their positioning statement, that they're able to provide this global weather forecast, and they go into oil and gas and offer it to the Chevron and Exxon that have operation at sea and deeper water, etc. So I'm trying to see how do WSI address that issue, which I think it is an issue. And if this information that is captured by aircraft can help fill in those gaps.
So we won't get into a whole tutorial about how to do forecast modeling and the resolution and everything. So you are correct. The whole goal is to be global because they basically have farmed everything they could get from the United States. They do offer global forecast products, and like we discussed, in some places you're using, U.S. radar information or any radar information they can get their hands on to help enhance that model, or I hate to say it, but the secret sauce is the algorithms they use and the data that they input into it. They do, also there is a baseline forecast that everybody is using in the marketplace right now called the WRF, which is WRF, which is the forecast, and then you enhance it with what you need from it and how you're going to use it. And that's where, and then, so if you're StormGeo and you say you have global products, or if you're WSI and say you have global products, then the question is, how accurate are they?